What's up, fam? Good to see everybody. Happy Saturday. Currently on a call with AB and a pretty big leader out over in Chicago, who we've gotten connected with for a minute. His name's Caden, founder of Vit Factor, and I'm excited about everything we got going on with our organization, including this book club. Man, how to win friends and influence people. I say this all the time. This book has literally changed my ability to be the most effective version of myself in terms of communication. I've got a lot of work to do, as I've learned, but this book has helped me progress something serious. And they gave really practical applications and principles throughout the book. And if you have been tuned in or have caught the recordings, you know the first couple book clubs have been crazy, amazing, full of value. We are covering part 2, the remaining chapters, so 4, 5, and 6. For those who did not read, all is good. You can pull up the book in the updated library in your app. There's a button for that thing. Let me just make sure we're in the right section. Boom. So chapter 4 is an easy way to become a good conversationalist. And then chapter 5. Oh, lost it. Chapter 5, how to interest people. And then which was a very short chapter. And then chapter 6 is how to make people like you instantly, instant success in terms of getting influence over individuals. So then they had the in a nutshell page, which breaks down all the principles for you. And then we'll cover part 3 next week. So are there any brave souls? I know Amber's camera's ready. She always seems ready to start the book club off. If you want to start us, girl, we'd appreciate it. But the floor is open. Whoever wants to take it for whatever insight stood out most to them.
I can start.
Oh, here you
go. So all chapters were super fire. Honestly, an easy way to become a great conversationalist was really, really good for me to read again because I don't know, for some reason, like in the past, 9 months, like of me building my business again and being part of TGF, I've been like super intentional about, connecting with people and, listening to them and allowing them, like making sure they know that I care. And so whenever I would like talk to Marcus and Mikel, they're always talking about like asking intentional questions. And I was like, what the fuck are the intentional questions? Like, what are they? And I felt like there were like certain questions and I would like brainstorm and like think. And like, whenever I was like with someone talking to them, I could feel myself like overthinking about like what I was going to say or whatever, because I wanted to make a really good impression. So it was funny whenever this, first chapter came up, because I was like, what is it? What is the secret question? And come to find out, it's really just talking to them about them and just asking questions about them over and over and over again, and just being really interested in who they are, where they are, like what else someone has going on, and just continuing to ask like literally about them, like whatever topic they're talking about, just continuing to dig into that and to pay attention. Like if they're excited about it, if they're passionate about it, just continue to keep asking them questions about themselves. And so throughout the past couple of weeks, I've been more consciously doing this because of this book and because like we're reading this chapter, and the conversations have been great. Literally, like our last powerful creator call, Imani had just mentioned how the conversation like was just flowing more smoothly and all the things. And obviously, we've been doing it over and over again, so each time it just gets better and better. But I've been taking this principle into consideration a lot, and just like continuously, asking deeper questions and like doing my best to not to make it about me. And when it is about me, obviously like give myself like that time and space within our dialogue and conversation. But yeah, so there is really no secret questions. It's just paying attention and asking and being genuinely interested in other people, which are being a good listener and encouraging someone else to talk about themselves, which is principle number 4. And then, which leads into principle number 5, which is how to interest people, is to be interested in them, be genuinely interested in them, and this is something that I've had to like consciously work on like as well, because we are genuinely interested in other people, but whenever I was asking myself, like I had resistance towards connecting with people like over the past couple years, like way more resistance than I thought. And it was because, you know, like we're being intentional about building our business. We're being intentional about connecting with people. So whenever I would ask myself, like, where's this block coming from? Like, why isn't just not like I am interested, but like, where's this like this resistance? And I realized for me, and I think for a bunch of other people as well, you know, like it's important to do our own emotional work and to like make ourselves feel good about ourselves so we can move ourselves out of our way and move our own emotional needs out of our way so we can show up and be there present for other people. Because I realized a big reason why I wasn't interested in other people was because I hadn't like done the work to fill myself up and feel good about like who I was and all that stuff. So there was like a block there. So I don't know if anyone else feels that way sometimes, but that could be like a reason. Okay, so principle 5 was talk in terms of the other person's interest. Be genuinely interested in somebody else. Pay attention, be present. And then number 6 is how to make people like you how to make people like you instantly, and is to make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. Making someone else feel important is extremely, extremely important. As y'all know, I mean, there's a whole chapter here about it. But it like feeling important is a like human fundamental need that we all need to feel. Like we need to feel for ourselves, and we have to do the work to make ourselves feel like that on a consistent basis. But also as leaders, you know, it is our job as well to make other people like see the importance in themselves and just continuing to remind themselves like that they are important, they are appreciated, like they're who they are does matter, you know, and it's not even just in like a service they do or a talent that they have, but just their presence, their energy is important, you know, and like I know Marcus and Michael do a really good job in TGF of doing that. Like every single call they get on, they're like, hey, you know, they let everyone know like how much they appreciate their individual presence, which is really important, and you know, which is a big reason why like we have like a consistent community. So that is my insight on these 3 chapters. So whoever wants to go next. Imani looks busy. Anyone wants some popcorn? If not, I will choose. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, Kelsey, go. If you're there, if you're free. I don't know if you are. Okay, Kels is not present in the moment. Let's see. Nito, do you want to go next?
I believe Kels is in the
In the
field
middle of a
outside.
field in a truck.
In the middle of a field, yep.
Imaners, you want to share with us real quick? She said no. Matt, are you free? You able to speak?
I am free, but I'm gonna be honest, I have not read yet. I came to hear the what's it called? The
Ready?
insights on everybody, and then I can take it after anybody else wants to go, so I can go towards the end, and then I'll get my insight on it too as well. But sorry, y'all, getting back in the groove, and I'll be better. Much love.
So good. Marcus, do you want to share? Or Mikkel? I could reshare, but
Yeah, I got you. I just want to make sure I'm muted over here on this joint. All right, bet. Hashtag leverage, y'all. It's a real thing. Just gotta know how to use it. But all right, so number 4 is an easy way to become a good conversationalist. And one of the first things I ever highlighted, and it's so cool when I get to like reread books that I've actually like delving into and taking notes on, was first one was listen intently. A good listener, he had said I had been merely a good listener, and then he had been encouraged through that to talk. So he was essentially saying, and this was something that was very important for me to really grasp, because when you are a good listener, you can encourage others to talk more about themselves, which people love to do, period, point blank. And if you understand that listening is more than just being silent, it's like an active process where you're listening with more than just your ears. You're also listening with your body language, your eyes, your facial expressions. All that combined literally allows someone to know that you have gained active and attentive listening from a specific individual. And because, or you had given active and had allowed them to attain a listener for whatever it is that they've got going on. What's up, Nick? Good to see you, big dog. Good morning. That man, OG, tripping
Good
out. I
morning,
see you,
bro.
big
Good
dog.
morning,
I
bro.
see it.
Yeah,
But
I appreciate you.
yeah, hey, yeah, man. Welcome to the call. Just real quick, catch you up real quick. We are reading the rest of part 2 of How to Win Friends and Influence People, chapters 4, 5, and 6. And in that, if you have not read the book, bro, you can just literally give whatever major insight stood out to you whenever
Yeah,
it's your turn.
I'm gonna skim along, bro. I pay
It's a
attention.
popcorn vibe. But
I
as
got
I
you.
was saying, y'all, if you encourage people to talk about themselves and their accomplishments, you will have much to listen to. I know there have been some amazing times where I have literally said maybe 4 sentences, and I've had people literally tell me like, bro, you're such an amazing person to have a conversation with. I'm like, bro, I have not done much. I've listened. I ain't say nothing. I ain't do nothing. I'm just here, focused and attentive. So a lot of the time, if you just remind yourself, he says at the end of the chapter that people you're talking to are 100 times more interested in themselves, their wants, and the problems that they're facing than what it is you're facing, then you can actively be a good listener to people and show people your interest, your love. I tell people all the time, the greatest act of love that you can give without saying anything at all that shows somebody that you're actually there and you care more about them than yourself is to listen. Most people are just unwilling to listen because they want to find common ground. They want to respond in their head and reply before actually just being in tune. I know I used to struggle with that. I also used to struggle with like, I just want them to know that I'm listening. So let me say something that shows them that I'm listening. You just need to be there and be present, you know? So one of the things that I'm working on currently is just staying as intentional as possible to be present. This is something that has come very natural to me, but just being aware of how present I am, it's something that I'm grateful for. You know what I'm saying? Me and Mikhail, we usually get a lot of crap for, I guess, our timing, but a lot of the time we just get so invested in the person that we're speaking with, and we actually listen to what they've got going on. And when it's pertinent to what it is that we're doing and where we're going, of course, we're going to sit there and give the time to create a real, genuine relationship, not just something that's surface level. And that requires you to literally put yourself aside and listen. So I think of everything that I read within part 2 for me, other than smiling and remembering their name, this is the most important one. It helped me really be in tune and stop talking in my brain and just listening to what someone was saying. Chapter 5, how to interest people. So then principle is talk in terms of other people's interests. If you listen, you can understand where their interests lie and you can connect more efficiently. So if you're chopping up with somebody and they are a big Dallas Cowboy fan and you've got some insight of football and sports and culture, the whole 9 yards, you can literally still maintain and captivate that person's interest because you can literally talk their language. Shout out Marcus Setta. If you understand someone's color, you can also be in tune and talk about certain things, not just within your opportunity, but within your life, where they can actually be interested in your life and what you've got going on. You ask plenty of questions. I usually ask the questions I want to be asked. It's like, yeah, bro, like, how long have you been doing what you're doing and do you enjoy what you've got going on? Like, bro, that's a great question. I absolutely love what I've been doing. I've been doing this thing for X amount of years. Da, 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 da. Then they usually ask me, what about you, bro? How long have you been doing what you're doing? I'm like, bro, I'm glad you asked. So I can let them know exactly what we've got going on this side of the world. So establishing that interest literally helps cultivate and create that that likability, but also that connection more effectively. And then number 6, he highlighted in the principle was make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. So don't just do it out of a motive or something that to gain, but actually allow them to know that they are important. This is something that I hold extremely valuable in my life because I make it an imperative when I'm establishing a real connection with people to let them understand that they have value to give, that they've been granted gifts, that they've been given a purpose that makes them completely set apart from everyone else on the planet. And when we bring that together and offer it at the table, not only do we have stuff to give, but we also have stuff to receive. And that helps people understand that they can participate and be a part of something that is greater than just themselves, and that they are important enough to actually be a part of that type of activity, to be a part of that type of growth. One thing that I highlighted that I starred and I wanted to bring up is that the unvarnished truth is that almost all the people you meet feel themselves superior to you in some way. And the same way to their hearts is to let them realize in some subtle way that you recognize their importance and recognize it sincerely. The power of sincere, heartfelt appreciation is something that should not be underestimated, y'all. Giving appreciation, giving that energy and that love, and essentially and it's crazy, y'all, because I read this in my biblical reading yesterday. But as Jesus said, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. That's something that I highlighted from this book, and that I highlighted in the Bible yesterday as I was going over the book of Luke. And if you just know that when's the best time to apply that rule, it's all the time and everywhere. Being mindful of how you treat people, how you go about situations and circumstances will make all the difference. The last thing that I really wanted to touch on was what I started, and it's essentially this: you want the approval of those with whom you come in contact. You want recognition of your true worth. You want a feeling that you are important in your little world. You don't want to listen to cheap and sincere flattery, but you do crave sincere appreciation. You want your friends and associates to be, as Charles Schwab put it, hearty in their appropriation and lavish in their praise. All of us want that. So if you want that yourself, why would you not first give? Because as you give, you will receive in tenfold. Like, it's biblical, it's law, and it's outside of man-made philosophies. Like, these are things that have been happening since the beginning of civilization. And if you recognize it and you do unto others as you wish to be done unto you, like, there's no way that you fail. There's none at all, because you'll create relationships and genuine connections that will help you along your process, your journey, wherever you're at and wherever you're going. So that's the biggest takeaways that I've got from these 3 chapters. Y'all remember, as my guy Marcus said, it taught me, shut up and listen to the people you're speaking to, and then actually give sincere interest to those individuals and let them know that they're important. Bow. I'll pass this thing to Mikhail because I know that man ready. Go ahead, bro.
I do want to say something real quick before Michael goes.
Yeah, go ahead. Anybody can tune in too if they have some of what I was talking about.
Whenever you were talking about being present with like being a good conversationalist, I realized that was a big block for me as well when it came to being able to be a good conversationalist, because being present wasn't natural for me. Like, I was used to doing a lot of things at the same time. And so when it came to starting to run my business, I was like, okay, like, I can listen to these calls and do this while I'm like getting this done, because we have like all these things to do. And then I realized that was like what was not helping me at all with connecting, because I wasn't able to be present. I wasn't able to pay attention to, what somebody was telling me and feel what they were feeling while doing all the other things. So that's something that I had to learn, like, to stop doing, and to really, like, especially with these calls too, like, I would try to do all these other stuff at the same time, but then I would want to like tune in and hear what everyone else was saying. I would get like super distracted and not be able to, and be like, okay, Amber, like, you can't, like, this is the time for book club, this is the time for this, and like it says that as well. There's a time for this, there's time for that. And the other thing that I was going to say was, with making someone else feel important. Like Marcus had mentioned in the book, it said basically, whenever we're talking, like, we want to give people feedback. Like, we want to give them what, like, we think that they need. And one of the things that I've learned when it comes to like leading other people, is because of the experience that like I've had and what I think that I've been through, and because I feel like I know what they're going through, like I feel like I know how they feel and like what they've been through. So I'm like, no, like I already know what they're gonna say, I already know how they feel. So I could just like tell them what to do or tell them like these steps. And I realized that it doesn't matter what I know. It matters that they know that I care about what they know. Like it matters, like we may have gone through similar experiences and I may be able to help them, but they don't know that that I've been through that. And like until they know that I'm listening to their specific experience and I know that I can relate to them specifically in that moment, it's not going to matter what I say, because they're going to keep thinking like, well, does she know what I went through? Does this apply to me specifically? And unless I do a good job as a leader to communicate that I'm talking to you about your specific situation, I care about you in this moment, I'm not just giving you general self-help advice. It doesn't really go that far. So that's in my experience, and that's what I want to talk about. So next, anyway.
I appreciate the insight, girl. I know, high key, I know this is something that like you and I have talked about, Amber, of like intentionally working on throughout our journey. So kudos to you, girl, because you've been doing your thing. I've been peeping it. But Mikael, you got the floor, big dog.
Give me a second. I'm trying to get my house in order.
All good. Understood.
Hey,
All right,
I want to bounce off of that, Marcos, if I can. Oh, go ahead, Queen. My bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Queen.
I'm gonna just go on and sit back.
Go ahead, Nick. You got the floor, bro.
All right. First and foremost, I definitely want to say, Amber, I can relate to you. I was just talking to Michael and Marcos, actually. I think it was Michael yesterday, just about building more confidence in, you know, who we are as individuals. In a sense that, and that actually help you to connect more. Like I'm young, so I'm still in that that same space you were just talking about, like doing a million things at once. Like I'm trying to make this, I'm making a shirt, I'm printing out this, I'm making an appointment, I'm on the phone. And what I realized is I'll get 30 to 40% of everything done, but nothing's done 100%. So I definitely relate. And it's dope to see that, you know, other people have gone through that same issue and overcome it, because it seems like you're doing a lot better, you know.
Marcus, you got to mute.
Sorry, my apologies.
Oh, you good, bro? Was I being? Could you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I was like, but yeah, nah. I just want to say I appreciate you, and it's dope because it's my first time here, so dope to see relatability for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely something that I've had to learn. And a part of that too is like getting rid of that fear of loss and like just having that confidence of knowing that you're going to get everything done, and we are going to get everything done. And at the end of the day, like the quality of our life, the quality of our relationships, the quality, I mean, I feel like the quality of our money depends on our relationships. You know, our relationships are everything. We're people are the vessels that move money around. You know what I mean? And like we have to connect. And that's something that I've hugely been like having to focus on, because I have a huge heart. You know, we care. Like that's why we're doing this, why we're here. You know what I mean? But Absolutely. If we can't communicate that feeling, if we can't, you know, really be intentional about it, then it really doesn't matter.
100%. No, I agree, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Imaner, Raquel.
So my people, Imani, you want to take it, and then I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. Amber, you can't be calling me that on book club. I don't want nobody.
Okay, sorry.
Come on, man. Yeah, I'm really proud of all of you guys. Even Nick, that I don't know. That's Nick, right? That's his name. Is he gone?
No, I'm here. Thank you. Yes, that's my name.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. But like all of you guys, honestly, it's really important to, like, these principles are so important. So what you guys are talking about is like being able to be genuinely interested in somebody, and like the idea of multitasking. It all sounds good at first, right? And I think I noticed that on book club actually a lot. I'm calling everybody out this morning. Good morning from California. Everybody that be on this call will hop on and speak their piece and listen in the background when they done. But I know everybody be doing stuff because I be looking at everybody, or people will hop off. I've done it myself. I know. So it's like everybody be like, oh yeah, like, let's do book club, let's listen. Once they give your piece, everybody out. Like, I don't care about what nobody else has to say. And that's happened so many times, you feel me? But that happens all the time. And like I said, I've done it myself. So I already know, you feel me? I'm gonna call myself out too. But a huge part of these principles is like, yo, it's time for book club. Y'all, when it's book club, we have to listen to everybody's perspective. That's a real like important way to show people your true interest. When like I have time, well, where I'm really focusing on book club and I don't have no events to go to or anything like that. I really want, like, I love tuning in to what everybody has to say, those other perspectives, and really focusing in on each individual speaker, because that also makes people feel important. You feel me? Like, it's really subtle, but to be able to listen to everybody's perspective and not hop off and do 40 million tasks, have your camera off, and just be out for the rest of the time, but like still present, is like, are you really? And over time, like dealing with people, those are the things that I have picked up on. So this book is like, it's weird because a lot of these principles, like, I understand, but like now I'm having to, I guess, do it like intentionally. Like, I do it naturally, but doing it intentionally is a whole different thing. So kind of keeping these practices in mind is like how, like, being able to, which I've actually been having a really hard time at that, like taking these principles and taking what I've been learning in the book and like, I don't know, kind of like merging it with what I know already and actually like using it as a tool. So I don't know, maybe I should just, I'm a little confused on that, to be honest. But for, which was it? I think it's principle 5, talk in terms of other people's interest. People love that. Like, I can't tell you how many times where like I've just been all ears to a person and I've listened to everything they said, and I'll talk to them maybe, I don't know, months later, years later, whatever the case is. And because I was genuinely listening, I retained the information. So the next time that I talked to them and I was like, oh, how's your mom? I know she had that surgery. Is she okay? People lose it. They're like, oh my God, you care so much. You love me. Like I may not love you, but you think I love you. And that's okay. Cause I actually, like, I do take that time to have that genuine interest in people. And it always changes the conversation, because I actually started noticing, and if anybody has had issues with this in the past, if you have a hard time talking to somebody because you're not interested in what they're saying, you ain't got to talk to that person. You don't. You can just move on. A huge part of sales is getting them in and out, out the door. I know, like, this is a deeper thing where you're like trying to influence people and how to win friends. So it's really important that you choose people that you actually want to be friends with. You choose people that are actually a part of are in alignment with your goals. I think Marcus said that on one of the calls, either Marcus or Mikkel, one of the times, was saying like, oh crap, I forgot. Well, it was really good. It was like, hold on, I forgot. Okay, but anyways, I'm sorry, y'all. But that's the truth. Like, if something about not having to sell someone, not having to like beg someone or something like that, basically, where it's like you don't have to go out of your way to sell somebody something. Like, if they want to buy it, they will buy it if they're genuinely interested and if this is for them. So it's kind of like with a personality as well. If you're personally for somebody, you can connect with somebody and you can have a conversation, that's great. Start there. Even what's his name from the event, y'all? The guy with the Tyrone with the dreads. Yeah, he said that he goes to events and he'll only talk to one or two people, and he'll get real good with those one or two people. He'll remember their name, he'll talk to them about their lives, he'll connect with them so much. And he said that's way more powerful than trying to get in a ton of people all at the same time. Like just basically kind of like being thirsty for followers. You feel me? No, it's about genuine connections, because those genuine connections are the real way to, network and get through. If you meet somebody on a surface level and you want to ask them for a favor, can't do that. Can't do that. It's not going to work out. Sometimes it does, but is it going to be a surface level or is it going to be deep? Like, I'm not going to lie. This is not a brag, but it's low key a brag. I don't know. But I used to work, I like said this before, but I used to work at Disney. So I still have friends who work at Disney, bro. And because I've kept up with genuine connections while I was working and after, your girl got signed into Disneyland for free like 2 weeks ago, like a week ago for free. And my friends who came with me was like, they just signed you into Disneyland? Absolutely. Because I influenced and I won. Okay, it is a brag. It's a brag. But yeah, guys, like, I mean, all these other principles, like even going back to principle two, smiling. Sometimes I just smile at people. I think me and Amber and Alyssa was out in Hollywood, and the bouncer, I was just like, hey, like, let us in. He was like, looked at his friend, was like, all right, little man. I was like, oh, we in that thing. Like, okay. It's simple, like it's real simple. So I could go on and on about these, like this chapter and this. It's just great. You feel me? Like I love this whole idea of making people feel important, is especially like I just really want y'all to like zero in on that. When you make people feel important, when you remember their name, when you are talking to them, like as the book is saying, literally, it works. It helps. You can win over anybody in any state, any country, any continent, and have like lifelong connections forever. So, if you're not interested, you don't have to be. Don't force yourself to be. Rock with it. Mess with the people you want to mess with, and that's a real powerful tool to be able to keep that interest for real. Don't force yourself to do nothing you don't want to do. And I'm gonna popcorn to Kelsey. Wait, is Kelsey like just not? Because I heard
I can take it.
she's in the field. All right, bet. Oh, Matthew, yeah, go on and take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. What up, y'all? It's been a minute. Or unless Mikhail wants to take it. I know Mikhail was gonna go next, but bitch. All right. Well, what up, y'all? Good Saturday. Happy Saturday. Let me turn this on. We're doing a little family trip to the gym, so we're here before we go get it in. But honestly, man, I need to start reading again because I know this is one of them ones I could just tell from the conversations and stuff like that. But I think a big, big, big part of it, and I know Marcus and McKellen said this, I don't know how many times, but it's honestly really important to, I guess the big gist that I've got from it is not just communicate, but just to connect. You know what I mean? And to be able to get bits and pieces from everybody and, actually spend the time, actually show people you actually not just there just for another number in your back office, but to be there to, like Marcus and Mikhail always do. You know what I mean? They're there for anybody, whoever needs it. Whether if you have any questions or if you just want to talk about life, you could literally just give them a call, and that's why they're the leaders that they are. You know what I mean? Because they truly care about what people are going through, how they are spiritually, mentally, and I think that's a lot of where a lot of people get confused. They think, just like Amani said, you know what I mean, about the numbers, about how many people they can reach out to or how many people they can talk to, but truly how many of those people are going to actually feel like you connected with them if you just hopping from place to place, place to place. You know what I mean? So with me, I'm not the biggest talker. If y'all know me, I do not talk much. I sit back, I listen, I observe, and that's basically where I am. And I'm still 2.5 years in trying to get uncomfortable and actually start
being outward with like speaking and stuff like this. But I mean, just like Amani said, I really think it's important for people to actually know that you truly care about them, that you're truly going to be, um, and a lot of people will tell if you're really about that off the first time you talk to them and you speak to them. You know what I mean? If you have that just surface level um talk like, hey, how you doing? Or stuff like that, or just say, hey, at the gym. I'm again trying to get over that, you know what I mean? But just really just dialing into your communication skills, dialing into your listening skills. And, if you ask, Marcus has said this plenty of times, if you ask the right questions, people will literally tell you exactly what they want out of life. And you can literally help them along the way by, I guess, being in the same, by going to where they're at, if that makes sense, like in their personal life, whether it's in the beginning of their business journey, whether it's in the middle of their fitness journey, if you're doing whatever, if I just think whenever you can actually just communicate, just connect with somebody, it just makes the world of a difference. And when people can actually feel like you truly care and feel like um, they're not just like another number or just like not just like another person, I really think that's why it's not like it's important who you know what I mean, and important of the connections that you can make, because you never know where you are in the world. That person might know that other person that and word talks, word travels. A lot of people like the drama aspect of things, you know what I mean? And you might not think nobody's talking about you, but I guarantee you somebody is saying something about you in some place. And I just think that if you personally are putting like your best foot forward and you're doing everything that you said you were going to do, and that you're actually trying to connect with somebody on a genuine level, it just goes way further than just a surface level. You know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all. I'm about to go get this work in. I'm still going to be on the call plugged in. But let's get it, y'all. Much love. I will pass it to, I think it's Mikhail, if I'm not mistaken. If not, I know Rigo just hopped on. So, yeah.
I wanted to mention something real quick. I'm sorry, I just keep talking, but this is the conversation. You had mentioned about meeting people where they're at. That's really, really, really important. That there's this moment that I'll never forget, like literally 9 months ago when I first started my business, where I did not do that, and I have like this cringy, embarrassing moment, which no one else knows, like except for me myself, because I just remember like just not meeting someone where they were at, just being so focused on myself and what I had going on. And like I had just launched my business, so I was like CEO vibes. And I was talking to a young lady who was not feeling like that. Like she was in a completely different place in her life. And I was quote unquote trying to connect with her. And I just remember like like just talking about myself and like where I was at, and then like listening to her and her just looking at me like I just felt like she was looking at me like she just did not want to talk to me anymore. And then I was like, God, I messed that one up. But it's okay. You know what I mean? But it's just like this moment I remember, because I just remember the feeling. Like the feeling between us was like this feeling of like just not in alignment. That's for sure. So definitely meet people where they're at. Don't talk about yourselves. Go to where they're at. And be there with them, and not from a place of like, going down to their vibration, but from a place of like, understanding and stuff. And that's something I got to tell myself. Hell, or Rigo, or Kels.
Well, I didn't read the book, as you guys know. But I definitely am just listening. And I'll say this from just my experience with people, um, that even just upon meeting Mike Cal and Marcos, I've only personally known them for a few days now, but there's been a lot of energetic and heavenly movement and planning in our teamwork, in our collaboration. So I'll say this, man. I know that I'm super underqualified for a lot of positions that I'm in, but the nature of the spirit always seems to guide me to people like Marcos and Michael who have communities like these where you guys literally um you guys are innovating the way to connect. You guys are innovating the way to be people. You guys are innovating our ability to be human. You know what I mean? Ultimately, that's how I see it. And I love that because um these are communities for people like me who can constantly learn. Like uh I'm humble. You know what I mean? That's basically I'm not reading none of the books you guys are reading, but all I hear is everyone talking about something universal. Literally, like this is a universal topic. You know what I mean? Just us being more human. So I just want to thank everybody for that for sure. Because I'm not reading the book, but that's my little piece. I'll read it eventually for sure.
Thank you for being here. Positive vibes. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Facts, right to you, bro. Hey, Matt Spaz, Imani Spaz stepping on toes today. I was over here like, let me make sure that they know I'm switching to my phone and in my AirPods while I'm getting these kids because Imani on that ass right now. So appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, for everybody. Matt touched on some great points. Marcus did. Everybody did, bro. Nick, even you, even for not reading the book. I'm sure you've probably breezed upon some of the same information in your travels through the personal development world. So honestly, like, it's crazy, y'all. I love what we've created, and I say this damn near every call because all of these different aspects to TGF really make like all the pieces of the puzzle fit together. And this part is like, Nick, I mean, welcome to the family. This is like a pillar of everything that TGF has been built from, truly. We were doing this book club before we even had an app. You know what I'm saying? So we was out here, you know what I'm saying? Literally just getting it in together, growing together with the desire to win, the desire to get better. So it's dope to see exactly where we've progressed. You know what I'm saying? He, my man Matt, he out here with the family gym trips. Those were not happening when we first started the book club. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So everybody's growing up, everybody's literally developing, and it's dope to see. For me, these books just remind me, or excuse me, these chapters literally reminded me of a book that I favorite and I tell everybody about. Everybody communicates, but few connect. When he was talking about listening, like, whoa, did we read it this year or last year, Marcus? I just know that it was in the Roto. I don't remember when. Because I just watched Imani like think of it and I was like, was this before Unlimited?
I think it was this past year.
I think it was
It
too.
was before September because I never got to read it with you. I feel like I'll finish that right now.
I just remembered the Roto from last year because we deleted it in our little, like me and Marcus have a note. But we definitely read my book, and then I was like, bro, I'm trying to read Everybody Communicates with You Connect because it's like my favorite one. So we
Yeah,
kicked
that
off
was
the.
definitely last year, bro, because that was right after the new
Yep.
year.
Yep. So yeah, it's all good. We're gonna run it back this year, I promise y'all. Or wait, we might already got the whole Roto set for this year, but next year. Or you can always slide into the updated digital library. Go grab Everybody Communicates with You Connect, or go on Audible, go on Amazon, go on any one of those platforms, and literally, please, if you have not read it, please go get it. Truly, because it takes these few chapters and it's John Maxwell doing a whole book about it. One of the greatest things I've ever read. I literally stole it from one of my mentors off his bookshelf. He was a man who in college was making $35,000 a month as a chiropractor, doing 28 credits a semester. Also was doing over $28,000 a month in the business at the time with my first business model. And I stole it from him and I was like, yo, what is this? And the whole book is literally cover to cover about listening. I have a whole 250 page. Y'all hear me talk about this book Journey, the event that I went to with Marcus Stetta, 5 days. It was a $500 ticket for the event, and that was cheap. Honestly, that was discount. So with that, that entire 5 day event was on listening. Dale Carnegie has covered listening. It's imperative to your future, period. I went out to an event last night and got to reconnect with some old mentors, leaders of mine as well. And as I was out there, like a few of the people in the crowd, they literally, it was kind of crazy because when I walked up, they were like starstruck, but not like starstruck like I just seen somebody that I've been following, but starstruck like, damn, this is that guy who will actually take that time to look at you intently and sit there and actually listen to you in the middle of 55 people asking this man what's going on. Like this is that guy, and they just got to telling stories on stories on stories, and I was like, whoa, I did not come here for this. I just literally came to say what's up, y'all. You know what I'm saying, and handle something real quick. It's crazy. So, and then even in that, like they start asking questions, and you can tell where a high, like I don't want to say high value, but just like a person who's very efficient at communicating, you can tell how they intently listen, think, and respond versus when somebody asks a question, the not as effective communicator just reacts and they just say something right off bat. And in that season of my life, I was honestly a man of both ends of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? So it was dope to be coming back and just be remembered for that, but it also just spoke volumes to like what's actually important in creating long-lasting relationships, building a reputation and credibility. It's literally about how you make people feel. And what I loved about what he went into like on really like the fifth and sixth chapter is when he talked about really be interested in the person. One of the reasons why I can network so well is because when I look at a person, I will genuinely, exactly like dude was like, I was sitting there and I was like, what can I admire about this guy? And then he's like, you know what? I really admire your hair. And then bro's like, you know what? I actually be getting a lot of compliments about my hair, bro. I appreciate you for that. And with that, they go into a whole conversation. Or when he was going into that business meeting, I don't remember the exact specifics right now, but he was talking to dude about sending the boys to Europe. And when he goes in there, instead of going in there and being like, hey, so I wanted to talk to you about this, that, and the third, he goes in there and he's like, hey, so I heard you just wrote $1 million, somebody wrote you $1 million check, and as soon as it cleared, you printed the check out and like posted it on your wall. Can you show me the check? Because he knew that was one of the things that the guy was most interested in his life right then and there at that moment. And he got him talking about it for 45 minutes to an hour. And then he goes, oh, snap, wait, you came here to see me. I didn't invite you here to see my check. So, like, why are you here? And dude explains it real quick, and real quick, dude ended up giving him a lot more than what he asked for. He asked to send one kid to Europe. He ended up sending 5 kids and dude, and ended up having him stay for an extra 3 weeks in Europe. Literally, all you've got to do is just be intentional. And as Amber was talking about earlier, ask intentional questions. When we say ask intentional questions and just be intentional, it's like, yo, be genuinely interested and like stop caring about everything else that's going on and like actually listen. And sometimes as humans, here's the trick, y'all. Be conscious. Like that's literally all it is. Cause you'll sit there, and I was doing this last night. This old lady named Lori was talking to me, and Lori asked me a question. And as she asked me the question, she went on into like answering her own question for like 5 straight minutes. And at first I almost like was like, yeah, I was gonna interrupt her and just give her the answer because she was taking a long time to get to like the point. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna listen right now. And then things started to happen in the background, and I start to look away, and I'm like, you know what? Mikhail, attention, listen, smile, Mikhail, react to what she's saying, Mikhail. Like actually listen, Mikhail. And I have to have a whole dialect with my own self in my own head while this is happening. And most people are not that aware. And that's really the reason why most people cannot communicate, because they just don't sit there and talk to themselves. Like, it's okay. You're only crazy if you answer. That's what my grandmother used to tell me. Shout out that woman over there in the picture. Rest in peace. She literally used to say, you're only crazy if you answer, but you can talk to yourself all the time, Mikhail. It'll help you out through a lot of situations. She's told me that since I was little, itty bitty. It's crazy to think about it now, because it's literally what I do in order to become intentional and actually listen to what a person's saying and just respond. And so when he talks about literally just go into it, talking about what they're interested in, admiring the person, actually listening to what they're saying. All in all, as Marcus talked about, you are taking all of your focus off of you and just putting it there. I be feeling bad when I'm sitting in a room full of my screaming kids and my wife and everything's going on, and I'm sitting here looking at the computer at y'all like, it's why I be trying to be downstairs in the garage whenever we're on these calls, because I literally feel bad because I can't intentionally listen to my kids when I'm intentionally listening to the team too. And I've got to pick one. And that literally just takes that intentional energy. Like when I go upstairs, a lot of times some people call me, text me. The reason I'm be hitting niggas back for a little time is because when I'm playing with them kids upstairs, I will set my phone down and I will literally, because I know I can get distracted. And I'm real bad at it. I'll sit there and scroll for a minute, or I'll sit there and text people, and then one conversation, 15 people text me, and I'm trying to reply, and it takes time to be intentional with each reply, and it takes me 20 minutes to go through just 15 quick little messages because I'm actually like having whole conversations with 15 people, and then I got to cut back into the kids, and I have to divert my energy. And as much as you would think, like, I'm messing up on time, and I even catch myself in those moments like that, you got to recognize, like, don't forget the main goal of everything TGF is about. It's about my man upstairs and what he said to do and how he said to live, and just intentionally working on ourselves to get better and better and live that way. So all in all, God didn't make no accident. He wrote this thing all the way out, and he placed you in every single moment for a purpose. He placed you in purpose, on purpose, to be looking at that person and listening to that person, hearing what they say, and actually responding. So if you don't do your due diligence as a human being with free will and actually be present 100%, you're missing the ball. And you don't know what blessing that you're missing, because all in all, everything is connected. The decisions and the conversations that you had 5 years ago led you to today. So like, be intentional about every single step when you're having every single conversation and when you're actually listening. And you'll catch moments like, dang, God's making me teach a lesson that I just learned today. That's wild. Like if I hadn't listened to this person, I wouldn't even have been able to understand what I just learned this morning by teaching it to somebody else. But you've got to be intentional and listen to actually get into those conversations, because they usually don't happen, as Imani said, surface level. Period. So with that, this book has been fire. I'm loving it. Real quick trick, even if you ain't got time to read all throughout the week, because I damn sure do not. I'm not gonna lie to you. My life is crazy. I literally spend the morning, I just make sure that I get very intentional, 30, sometimes it's 20 minutes right before. I have a faster reading ability than most people because I low key love to read. I've been doing this thing my whole life. So take whatever time that you need, but like, get up Saturday morning and just listen to the book or read the book, or like actually just skim through the pages real quick while we're listening to music on here. Because truthfully, the pages help with the understanding as everybody's talking once you're intentionally listening to. That's just background knowledge, it just, then everybody puts the pieces together. And then even if you are distracted, if you've skimmed through a little bit of the book and you're intentionally listening with your subconscious too, and you already have the words in the background too, here's what happens. The pieces start to flow. And that's why we don't even be trying to trip on everybody. And I'm trying to work on my grace, because I be getting mad when people don't read. You know what I'm saying? I be feeling some type of way because we give everybody every single tool, resource, and ability. But at the same time, like, we've got to give grace because we all have lives and it all gets busy and there's always things going on. So just like I can't read every single day, you just got to find your pocket of time and work on it and become intentionally better. Because the only reason I can read the 70 some pages in the ebook that I had to read this morning right before the call for 20 minutes, the only reason I can speed through that is because I've literally been reading a book every Saturday for the last 2 years. So I've gotten really good at doing it. You know what I'm saying? 2 years ago, I might not have read the whole thing. I might have hopped on here and just been like, okay, luckily I read this book before. You know what I'm saying? Type of vibe. So these days we just get more intentional each step, and we all work on it each little day. Like, I know for a fact, anybody who is on this call or sees this recording is for a future going to be very intentionally listening on the book club call, just because of what Imani said. Because I know even if you weren't paying attention all the way, you caught that part. Because I was in the middle of kids and was like, oh, let me come back to the camera and actually sit my butt down. You know what I'm saying? So real life, I know that we'll all be intentional about these things, and it's just being able to catch what you can catch in those moments. Be intentional about it, learn it, remember it. This is why we cause emotion. This is why I cause jokes afterwards, because what I've learned from another mentor, same dude who taught me how to listen, is when you can put together education and entertainment and people can remember how you make them feel, they can remember what you taught them too. And that's honestly why a lot of these lessons stick. So keep doing what y'all doing. I love it. Let's all keep developing. Let's go get it cracking for next week. And I'm excited for the next few chapters. Marcus, if you are free, you can let us know what's happening. If you're not, I will just read it. So I don't think he's free. So with that being said, next week we are going to cover, let me see, hold on, let me just go slide on to it. Hey, shout out Marcus for literally keeping this together. Hold on. Is the book's not over, is it? Was I tripping?
No.
It's definitely not. All right, so we have not updated the book club joint for next week. So we're just gonna do this. We're gonna knock out chapters 7, 8, and 9 in this book. I was about to look at next week's book club and we hadn't updated the description yet. So it says Rich Dad Poor Dad in there. So I was like, that's why I got confused. Like, hold on, because I did not finish this book today. So yeah, chapter 6 is, or excuse me, chapter 7, which is technically really part 3, chapter 1. How to win people to your way of thinking. So we'll wrap up chapter 1. You can't win an argument. That's fire. I love that. I'm so excited. Chapter 2. Oh, y'all don't even know how excited I am for chapter 1. That's what we fire. I ain't even read this book yet, but just seeing that is whoa. Chapter 2, a sure way of making enemies and how to avoid it. I'm excited to learn that. And then chapter 3, if you're wrong, admit it. Woo! That part. Accountability, y'all. So let's get it, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And let's disperse, multiply, and
And just a heads up, y'all, I did update the event. My apologies. It was kind of last minute, but first 4 chapters of part 3. My apologies. There's 12 chapters in that joint, in that John. And I don't want to spend more than 3 weeks going over all of those.
you're right.
It's about 80
Okay,
pages.
so also a drop of honey.
Huh? Yeah.
Also a drop of honey.
Yes, sir. It's part 3, 1 through 4. And then the rest of the book will be updated throughout the events, and y'all can check the event details in the app for that to be in tune as you guys move forward.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
What is it book called? Anyone Communicates, Everyone Tries?
I love you, Imani. I really do. It's called Everybody Communicates, but Few Connect. I will send it to you too. And I'm pretty I'll send it. I'm gonna find it.
I actually just found the free link. If y'all need it, I could add it. I could email it to you. On my computer, bro.
Email it, throw it in the chat, whichever. Oh yeah,
It's not on my. I'm on my computer for sure.
On Spotify.
It is on Spotify, included in the premium.
Or that.
Shout out Spotify. Quit playing.
Let's get it. Hey, well, listen, you only retain about 15% of what you do, so listen to that thing 2 times, okay? Because I ain't gonna lie to y'all, like real life, that book, like that one, made me my first $100,000. That one. I can chalk it up to 2. That one and 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Let me be real, because there's both sides of the world. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be intentional. But them 2 books, though, literally got me in mode to go on my biggest run ever, but really just got me ready to be intentional through it too. So with that, definitely take it serious. Listen to that thing. Love y'all. See you guys on the call tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Let's get it. All right, bye.